What's going on YouTube? Today we're doing a little DIY project. We're putting the new Garmin EchoMap 73 SV on my Old Town 106 PDL, and I don't want to put the transducer underneath on the transducer mount because it's such a big long transducer. It actually goes from the pedal drive all the way up to the front where the mounting bracket is, and that's just not going to work. I don't want to damage the transducer. So I'm actually going to jerry rig it, and I didn't go with the YakAttack sidearm that you can put right here in the T-rail and it comes down. I honestly just don't want to spend $60 on a little plastic arm. So I ran over to the big box store and I bought this 1/2-inch PVC and two 90-degree elbows. I only think I'm going to need one, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to rig this up and make a basically $5 transducer mount that can swing in and out of the water, so it can be protected when I shore land or I get in shallow water. And it's fully functional and goes right here in the T-track. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So here are the basic supplies that I'm going to be using for this project. 1/2-inch PVC, I bought a 10-foot piece. I'm going to cut down to size. A 90-degree elbow, a drill, and I'm using a 7/32 drill bit to match the T-bolt I bought. This is a 1.5-inch T-bolt. The transducer itself, which you can see, is absolutely ginormous because it's got all the fancy side scan and down scan technology, which again wouldn't fit between the pedal drive and the transducer mount because it's just too long. Then the transducer bolt that came with it, a flat or a Phillips head screwdriver, and you can use one of those PVC ratchets if you have one. I didn't want to buy one for 15 bucks for this project, so I just am using this old hacksaw, and I put a bunch of duct tape on it because I didn't like holding a tiny blade, so I just wrapped it up and it's much more comfortable in my hands. All right, so the first step is really just measuring the cutout arm that swings out away from the boat. I just rough edged it, and I went and I threw the 90-degree angle on top of it. And it's just to get a feel. You can always knock down the edges if you want to have a cleaner project like I'm doing here. It just helps in the overall. Then I cut the vertical bar. You can see me putting the two pieces together here. And now I'm just kind of lining it up. Again, I cut long pieces so I can cut them down later. So now I'm just trying to find the location, how far out I want it on the curvature of the boat. So I try to mark it here, bring it down to the ground, go ahead and drill the hole. And again, this is where the T-bolt is going to go through from the track to the PVC. So now I have the T-bolt in there, and I am just doing a test fitting. I eventually trimmed some of the extra PVC off there at the end, but you can see how flexible and dynamic this kind of mount is for $5. Next up, it's getting the transducer on to the PVC. So I pull out the bolt, and I'm kind of looking at the bottom here. The bolt isn't long enough to go through 1/2-inch PVC, so I have to cut off about half of it so that I can mount to it. So I bust out the Dremel, and I just cut away a nice chunk, taking my time and knocking down all the burrs at the end. And then I go ahead and line it up so that it's nice and rigid, and mark the hole and drill it out so that I can have a simple installation. And there we go. And now let's throw it back on the kayak and see how it looks. So as you can see, the arm swings around 360 degrees, has full rotation. You can bring it in the boat, out of the boat, down, up, whatever you want. I ended up using this on the right side of my boat when all was said and done. I trimmed it off and made it a lot shorter, and I just wrapped the extra cable onto the hook itself. It goes absolutely nowhere. I zip tied a couple things, and it's been working great. It's nice and deep in the water. It doesn't pick up turbulence, and thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.